the change you wanna see.
Seaside is a caring, connected, and expanding spiritual community, sharing practical tools for richer living.
Just your heart to show you how you can be the change if you wanna.
We join in partnership with God to influence our lives for good, whether for improved health, finances, relationships, or simple happiness and joy.
Plant a flower, watch it grow. You will reap what you sow. You gotta be the change. Seaside Band. Good morning, everybody. All right, so we have a lot coming up. I hope that you have your Google calendars out so that you can point them all into there. We have Deep Sound Meditation with Kay. The first Monday of every month. We have May 7th, that is tomorrow. So the pure sounds created by the various traditional gongs, bowls, and other instruments resonate and align the energy center of the body. The healing sounds enable to experience the deep relaxation and profound wisdom. Allow yourself the benefit of the power of sound. All donations provide tuition and food for 50 disadvantaged students in Nepal. Please bring yoga mat, pillows, blankets, and request to donate. And the donation is $20. And before I continue, I will call out our light holder, who is Candace. Thank you, Candace, for being here and holding the light, holding the space. She is here, I promise. She is coming. See? Told you she was here. Thank you, Candace. She probably just walked to the back like Kat forgot. I'm just going to walk around. I didn't. June 3rd, our ministerial students are graduating, and so is the practitioners. And that'll be here June 3rd, so go ahead and put that in your calendar. This is very exciting. And that being said, education. Dr. Christian's next class for Living from the Mountaintop began last Tuesday, but it's still open for this Tuesday, May 8th. This class is experiential and can free you from whatever has bound you in life. If you are planning to take Prac 1 in the fall with Dr. Christian, this class is for you. For practitioners, David Kane is doing a 4-week class titled Developing and Maintaining a Steady Clientele. That begins Saturday, May 12th. And as we say at Seaside, life just works better when you are in class. So sign up today with Deb. There is a table on the right-hand side of the family room. And Gourmets for God. So the Gourmets for God, the whole sign-up is May 13th. Susan has done a wonderful job at setting up the table in the family room. Go ahead and sign up there. And we also have a video for you. All right, so this was an experiential experience, so you could feel the music as it was coming through the screen. So there is a part where he ends up on the phone, and all ceases. All the sounds, the microwave stops, and this is where I would say, right? You never know what's gonna happen for Gourmets for God unless you are there. So make sure to sign up because it's always a great fun, and you always get to create more fun, more friends, more community. Let's see. We have after second service. These are the things that are happening right after second service. Basic Beliefs with Ginny Mills is going to be in the Emerson room. So if you want more information, and this is your first time here, you get to get more information on what Science of Mind is with Ginny in the Emerson room after second service. Marianne Williamson, the planning meeting, is in the Quimby room. And tickets are going really quick. And if you like to wait last minute, I just want to let you know that we already sold 300 tickets. And we just entered into May. And also we have like 20-something tickets, VIP tickets left. So if you haven't gotten them yet, make sure you do because it's open to the public. And the Youth and Family marketing meeting is in this sanctuary after second service. I will be meeting with the Youth and Family ministry, and what we're gonna be doing is creating a marketing plan with them. It's really exciting because I'm working with Cassie and Cooper. Cassie is 19, Cooper is 12, and we're gonna be putting a marketing plan together. And then, I know. And then the choir will be meeting in the Rose Room after second service. And last but not least, pavers. You will be getting an email sometime this week. So if you've already signed up for your pavers, just keep an eye out for that email. What it is that it's basically you're gonna sign it to confirm that what your paver says is what you want your paver to say. So please look at your email and sign that off and then just email it right back. And with all that wonderfulness being said, we may stand and greet our neighbors.
Song we're gonna do today, okay? It's got a bit of a call and response thing going. It's a brand new song. Once you pick it up, when the walls come tumbling down, I choose joy. When the world stops spinning around, I choose joy. When my heart won't seem to move, when my music's lost the groove. When I have too much to prove, I choose joy. When hate is all I see, I choose joy. When fear won't let me be, I choose joy. When betrayal and lies hide the light from my eyes, I look up to the sky and I choose joy. Sing, joy, 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 I choose joy. You say, yeah, Seaside, come on. Give it up for Bob and our Seaside band. In this moment right here, I choose joy. For the ones that I hold dear, I choose joy. To be who I must be, for the light to shine in me, for everybody to be free, I choose joy. Sing, say, joy, 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 I choose joy. Sing it, y'all. One more time, say, joy, 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 I choose joy. Come on. Yeah, Seaside.
Hey, we got a new one. Sounds like we're in New Orleans. Man, woo, I like that. Seaside Joy, that's a keeper. Good job with finding it. So, hey, you all packed? You leaving us on that Dave Crawler's cruise?
I know, I'm not packed at all though.
Not at all.
Oh, man.
I'll figure it out.
That's right. You don't need much, right? You just buy it all over there.
That'd be nice.
Like Europe.
Nice.
Good God. Well, hey, you'll be missed, for
I'm
sure.
going to miss you guys so much. But
That's a good song, but don't leave that for Danielle to introduce that.
oh.
She could do it, but.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's, anyway. Hey, good morning, Seaside. Woo, what a joy to be with all of you on this fabulous day. It's like spring's in the air. There's light, there's life, there's sun, there's sunsets, there's magic, there's wonder, and there's you. What a great morning is unfolding for us. I am truly excited to experience it, and so welcome to Seaside. If you're here for the first time, just know it is a welcoming place, that we care, we do our best to be kind, and we just support each other on our spiritual path. Doesn't matter how much stumbling we do, we love one another without judgment as we come to recognize that who we are is just perfect, and it's an expression of God, and we are excited to work on that together and be loved together, be messy together, be joy together, be just who we are. That's what's beautiful about Seaside, is the diversity of expression that we've got going on. And what we know is it's all coming from one place, which is God, which is Spirit. It's that life force, and we have a wonderful practitioner here today to take us to a deeper place to connect with that source, and that is Sharon De Leon. The sun has arrived at Seaside.
Please join me into the stillness. I rejoice, for this is the day that God hath made. I rejoice in the wholeness of it, the perfection of it, the power of it, and the beauty of it. I rejoice, for this is the day that God hath made. For I know that everything that I need and everything that you need has already been given. It has already been called forward, for it is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. So I know that the activity that takes place right here, right now, is the ability to receive more, to allow more, to be that place of receptivity, to allow more good, more love, more joy, more beauty, more peace, more freedom. So I rejoice, for this is the day that God hath made. And I know that love leads the way. I know that I let go of anything, any limitations, and I just open. I open to the blessings of this day. I open to the blessings of this community. And I open to the blessings of this service. I am open to receive the words of Reverend Christian and the many blessings. So I rejoice, for this is the day that God hath made.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be.
So good morning, Seaside. It's so good to see you all again. I love it. You know, all year, the last whole year, every time you saw me, I was like counting down, you know. And those of you who don't know me, my name is Rosedale, and I am a practitioner, but now minister. I'm saying it ahead, yes, I am. June 3rd, I know you heard Kat talk about graduations. So I just had to do that. Oh, it's so freeing. So welcome to each and every person that's here for the first time or maybe coming back for another time, you know, but whatever you're here for, just know that if you want to act like you're new, we got a table, a welcome table outside. Let me peek. Oh, it's there. God, go ahead now. Look at God doing his job. And you see that little packet of all those goodies? You'll see that same replica right outside when you go to the table, the welcoming table. So don't forget to hit that, you know, but even if you're not new, just go look anyway. Just be nosy. It sometimes pays to be nosy, right? So what I want to tell you about is I want to give you a wonderful gift that I think I have had for the last 10 years. I never thought that I would be able to step out and do the things that I've done without prayer. So I'm going to probably give you a little inspiration to do a little bit more of that this week by explaining to you what prayer is all about from the Science of Mind book. And that's on page 28. Since some people have been healed through prayer while others have not, the answer is not that God has not responded. The answer is that some answered to God more than others. So their prayer or their thought has responded by corresponding. The answer to prayer is in the prayer. But what is prayer? A prayer is a movement of thought within the mind of the one praying along a definite line of meditation, depending on the purpose. What is the mind? No man living knows. We know how great it is to have this mind and live in this mind, but by mind, we mean consciousness. We are now using it. We cannot locate the mind in the body. For while the body is necessary as a vehicle to carry this consciousness that we're in, it's not consciousness. We cannot isolate mind. All we know about it is not what it is, but what it does. And the greatest philosopher who ever lived knows no more than that, except that he may tell us more about how to use it. Use prayer. It's so powerful. It's a string of meditation for us. And as we go into this prayer, see what it is that you're looking to do. See what it is that you came here for today and receive it. For I know that it's just this one divine mind, this power that permeates my whole being. It is my being. I am one with it. It has perceived me before this moment and already has done this whole entire service. And for that, I am so grateful. This particular mind has done my whole 10-year journey so far that I'm looking at, and the rest I'm so knowing it's fabulous. Just as fabulous as I know this service is, just as fabulous as I know what anyone is looking for is fabulous for that person. I know that I get what I believe, and I know that everyone gets no more than what they believe. So with that being said, prayer is the most fabulous thing we could do. As Dr. Christian talks about, to deepen this prayer and begins this wonderful service in his fabulous prayer. Prayer is powerful. So I give great thanks for knowing that all I need to do is utter my word, but know that also before I even utter the prayer, it's already done. So with this fabulous, fabulous service that's already done, enjoy it and reach inside and receive your love, your relationship, your prosperity, your abundance. It's yours before you even utter the prayer. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, Seaside. It is my honor to introduce our guest artist, and we love when she is here. She's an incredible singer-songwriter, and in case you didn't know, her and Dr. Reverend Christian wrote our grace song that we sing at the end of every service. So in case you didn't know that, that gives you an idea of the type of music that she creates within her beautiful spirit. So we love when she's here, and if you're moved by her music, please see her after the service. She does have CDs with her. So without further ado, please help me welcome Peggy Lebo.
Good morning. So how many fans of The Voice do we have here today? Well, this first song I'm going to do is one that I heard from one of their contestants, Jordan Smith. Okay, that's a man who has high notes I'm totally jealous of. And I remember the first time I heard this, I cried through the whole thing, and it's become my mantra. So I wanted to share that with you today. It's called Stand in the Light. Didn't I tell you I hear what you say? Never look back when you're walking away. Carry the music, the memories, and keep them inside you. Laugh every day. Don't stop those tears from falling down.
That is Peggy Lebo singing us a sermon, standing in the light and being seen for who we are. That is a good one. Boy, that moved me to tears too. Wow, thank you. The voice, they should have had Jude do it. You know, that would be, I'm sure you did better. So. Anyway, good morning again. I'm excited. Hey, I'm finally going to start in on this series on Marianne Williamson. Obviously, you heard she's coming because we've sold out more than half the tickets. VIP are just about all gone. But I thought I would do a series from my favorite book of hers, and it's called The Gift of Change. And it's from about a decade ago, but the world was stirring even a decade ago, which just reminded me, you know what? The world stirs, and we can freak out about it, or we can realize we're going to move through this too. And so this book helped me to come to understand that. But the message this morning, the title for it, comes from the first chapter of the book, and it's called Crossing the Bridge. And so I figure, well, she starts with this, I might as well start this series with it since it was her idea anyway. And she writes that we spend so much of our time on unimportant things with no ultimate meaning, yet for some reason, no one seems to fully understand such non-essential stands at the center of our worldly existence. They have no connection to our soul whatsoever, yet they have attracted themselves to our material functioning. Like spiritual parasites, they eat away our life force and deny our joy. The only way to rid ourselves of these pernicious effects is to walk away, not from the things that we need to do, but from the thoughts that need to die. Crossing the bridge to a better world begins with crossing a bridge inside our minds from the addictive mental patterns of fear and separation to enlightened perceptions of unity and love. We're in the habit of thinking fearfully, and it takes spiritual discipline to turn that around into a world where love is more a suspect than fear. You know, how can we live in a world where that love is more of a suspect than fear? It's so strange that if we choose to love, people say, man, what's going on there? Yeah. And we've got to recognize that we are so much bigger than our fears, than the challenges, and that the issues that come our way, that we have forgotten for some reason who we are inside. That all of a sudden we've got these parasitical energies that are just zapping us, and we've got to calm ourselves down and recognize, you know what, there's a bridge that comes directly from the divine that's going to lead us from where we are and the challenges and the difficulties and the constraints into a greater expression. And it's not as if actually we're going anywhere. I'm just using it as a metaphor today, that I'm moving from being in this place of constriction and challenge to a place of greater opportunities, because we've got to come to recognize that the thoughts of fear and difficulty have been given to us from a frightening and frightened world. And it's trying to say, here, Christian, go ahead and take this. You've got to believe that this is the truth, because this is what is going on out there. And what I must do is step into that higher expression of my true self so I can begin to be spirit expressing. I've got to be willing to turn on that love light. You know, love is to fear what light is to darkness. You turn it on and it disappears. It's not a battle. It's not a fight. It's the way it works. And if we can just step into that way, to be that conduit for the light, the greater possibility to express itself, it will serve us in all manners. Not only in our life, but our contribution to the collective consciousness as a whole, which is calling for our participation big time right now. Because when there's something that seems to be out of balance, it is calling to be brought back into balance. You know, the fight doesn't need to go on. What needs to happen is our willingness to say, okay, use me. Allow my expression to be the way in which the light from across the bridge is going to show up in this world. I am the bridge, if you would, to bring the light into this world. And so you've got to be the way. I mean, you know, Jesus, remember he said, I am the way? Right? Now, we're not talking the man is the way. We're talking about the consciousness, the expression, the connectedness with the infinite, a realization that those that look at that individual begin to see the one that sent it forth. That is the way, but that idea is not original from Jesus. He's not the only one that didn't steal or plagiarize, but, you know. we tend to catch good ideas that are floating around in consciousness. And 600 years before he was ever around, there was a guy by the name of Lao Tzu. You heard of him? Like the Tao, the I Ching, the Tao meaning the way. Like he brought forth this concept of the way, being in that flow. The Wui masters, talking about being in the flow of life, to be in that place of self-expression. And when you are in that place, there is a power and a life force that when you come across a roadblock, you realize it's a roadblock. It's not a stop sign. But when people come across those challenges in their life that look like boulders on the path in their way, the roadblock, that's it. It's just too much. What can I do with this? This is big. When we're doing this thing called life, there are things that get in the way, and there will always be a bridge from where you are to where it is you want to go, but you've got to be that bridge. You've got to be that conduit. You've got to be that way, and recognize that just because it is there, it is an opportunity to recognize, life has thrown down the gauntlet. Okay, boom. It is time for you to step up to this challenge to be greater than what's in this world. You get to be the way in which Spirit is showing up in life. And this challenge that is before you just happens when you're doing this incarnation in this physical dimension, in this thing called life. And it can show up in your body. It can show up in your world of affairs. It can show up in your relationships. It can show up in your business or your creativity. And it's not because life is out to get you. It's just because you're doing things in this world and things come up and you get to deal with it. That's all that means, and you're bigger than that because you are that conduit through which the divine is touching down. And so you get to decide, okay, I'm throwing this outdoor party and it rained tonight. Am I going to take it personally? Oh, probably. But, it's just those things happen. What are you going to do about that? You want to move to a new part of the country and your partner doesn't want to go with you? That's a roadblock, but it's not a stop sign. It is an opportunity to have a conversation and deal with something that is before you. There is this business turnaround specialist by the name of Stu Lichman, and he's from the New York area, and on the East Coast, there's this large shoe company there up in the Northeast Corridor, and it was going under. It basically was bankrupt. There's nothing it could do. It was just throwing up its hands and walking away. Big company. Stu came in and said, hey, let me see what I can do with this. And he began to move some things around. It was evident that there was no capital, anything to save this company. There was one warehouse that was worth a nice chunk of change. They had a couple $1 million in debt. Could sell it, pay off a large part of that, get some capital, get things working. But it had huge liens on it, from the state of Maine is where it was. And there's nothing they could do. But what Stu did is, rather than taking it as a stop sign, he decided to have a meeting with the governor of Maine, and he sat down in the governor's office and said, you know what, we got this issue, and we could sell this plant and keep things going, or we can just go bankrupt, and then you will have about nearly 1,000 Maine employees without work. Which means basically that you're going to have to compensate through unemployment, the insurance and everything to pay for them and their way. And, or, you can take the liens off this and we can keep them all at work and keep them working. And all of a sudden, there was a bridge from what was to what can be. And the mayor thought about that, paying millions and trying to keep these unemployed people funded, or to let them run the plan and have them pay for it. And they were able to come to an agreement, a deal, because there was something that was greater that is saying, you know what? You need to find the bridge from where you are to what it is you want to bring into life, into the world, into your business, into your relationship. These are all just metaphors. You get to catch the vision. Because as I started off, you're greater than what's in this world. The reason you've got the problems is because you have forgotten your greatness, and the challenges and the difficulties in your life or in this world is because of the forgetfulness. You just got to remember that you are the way in which this can show up. And sometimes it gives you an inkling as to where you can go. You know, one of those iconic Hollywood stories from our generation was Jim Carrey. Remember that one? 1990, he was sitting on Mulholland, drove himself up there in this old beat-up Toyota. 1990, sitting on Mulholland. You guys probably seen it was where we used to go. Well, I won't talk about it. But, you know, you'd sit up there and you watch the lights. And he was sitting up there one night, and he wrote himself that check. Remember that story? He wrote himself a $10 million check, and in the memo said, acting services rendered. He put it in his wallet and carried it. 5 years later, in 1995, after some big hits, Ace Ventura, I'm not like a big, that's it. Dumb and Dumber, The Mask. He was asking $20 million a picture after that. You know, there was a consciousness that believed before it happened. In 1994, when his dad died and he was at the memorial service, he took that $10 million check out of his pocket and put it in his dad's coffin and said, thanks, Dad. You know, it's like, man, you gave me this kind of belief, this kind of thing. I don't know if he was paying back a debt or something, but, you know, and I'm sure at some level he was. But as we begin to believe and know of a greater possibilities, we act in that kind of way. This is what we begin to see, because there's a light. We come to recognize that I amness of my being is so strong. But I've got to get my attitude there. I've got to get my perspective there. Maya Angelou talks about at the end of the day, let Thanksgiving be your prayer pillow. You know, rest upon that attitude of gratitude. You hear me say, I go grace and gratitude as I'm falling asleep every night. Just thank you, God, yeah, grace and gratitude. And I wake up in the morning, look for grace and gratitude. But then what happens is faith in that good showing up begins to be the foundation or the floor or the earth in which I walk. So I go to bed with a gratitude, and I step out onto faith in the morning, and I begin to bring forth those $1 million checks. I begin to bring forth those turnaround ideas. I begin to bring forth a greater expression, because there's something inside of me that knows that this is possible. And if it's possible in my life, it is possible in this world that I'm living in. It takes a radical change of consciousness to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to bring this concept of love and a higher belief and the kindness and understanding to this world that I live in. And when I share with people that, love is an answer, they look at me and go, man, you just don't know. You know? You know, you get swatted like a fly by the contemporary thought police when you start talking love is an answer. Well, you're silly, you're crazy, you're such unsophisticated knowledge of the world. It's like love and kindness and understanding. I just don't think that is the answers that the world is looking for right now. You are just nuts, Christian. You know, new age dude all the way. You know, your moonbeam. But it's like, you know, building weapon systems at the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars is really a formula that hasn't been thought out for peace. Is for peace. It's just, and they call it sane. That's all I get, is that they're building bigger and more powerful bombs for peace, nuclear bombs, and say that's the sane approach. It's like the guys are playing war as if they're little boys playing video games, and that's sane. But love and understanding and kindness, it's like Alice in Wonderland, where, you know, it's upside down. Those that are sane are considered insane, and those that are insane are considered sane. You've got to be willing to be the I am that Peggy was talking about, and stand there in the light, and to be the bridge for the greater possibilities to come forth, to be that conduit, to bring forth that spirit in a way, because the gauntlet has been thrown. And you know what? Life and the universe is calling us to be greater than what's going on in this world. The only reason we haven't is because we have forgotten that, and we have started to get sucked into a world that is fear-based, and we're believing the fear more than we're believing in the love. And you're the one who gets to be different in your world and your realm of influence, to bring that good vibe. Esther Hicks, Abraham, she wrote, when you practice good-feeling thoughts and are, therefore, more in control of your vibrational atmosphere, then you're able to respond to the things that are happening in your world from your practiced place of alignment rather than from a reactionary place. That is what the art of allowing is all about. When you practice good feeling thoughts, then you're in control. You know, as opposed to living reactionary. Anybody ever get you riled before? You know, and you respond in a way that is less than gracious? That is just an indication that we could fall prone to that from time to time. So if we continue to cast those good vibrations, those good kind of feelings, even when things are working well. I love what Stephen Wright said. You know, he's the comedian. He said, I believe I'm going to live forever. So far, so good. Yeah. We get to decide how we are going to be in the world. Ed Koch, I think it's Ed, who was mayor of New York. Remember Koch? Was it Ed? Yeah. Anyway, while he was mayor, he had a stroke. And he was in recovery. And one of his acquaintances came to visit him, and it happened to be Mother Teresa. They weren't yet best buds, but they were about to be, because as she talked and assisted him, and he started to feel better, he finally said, Mother Teresa, as mayor of New York, what can I do to support you? You know, what can I do for you? And, you know, his head's going, well, she probably wants some funding for some big kind of thing, a rally. Who knows what she's going to ask for? And she thought about it and just said, you know, that aid center, I could use 2 parking spots in front of it. And I was like, wow, there was a real answer, but nothing, you know, exorbitant that couldn't be delivered. And it just reminded me, even saints need parking spots, you know, in this world. But that begins to be the thing, is that we get to claim what it is we want, and there are certain delivery systems that are possible, and there's other delivery systems that may not be that which supports what it is you're looking for. And it doesn't make that person or that delivery system wrong or weak or anything else. It's just not meant to be the place that is for you. But what is for you is to recognize who you are, as we were singing that light that is coming in, the I am. I'm comfortable with who I am in this world, and I'm going to be that in this world. I'm going to be that bridge to bring forth that spirit in a way that is uniquely mine. And when someone calls for some assistance, or when one calls a spiritual practitioner at Seaside, or I even receive a call and say, hey, I need some help. Would you pray? I say, yes, I will help. But it's not the little I Christian or the little I practitioner that helps. It is the large I am that I am. It is the God presence I that is responding to this situation. It is that presence of God that is showing up in its unique kind of way, and we are activating that I am that is greater than anything that is in this world. But I got to remember to turn to that and recognize that it is not my brain or my thinking that is trying to pull it down or extrapolate it from the universe, but rather I am remembering who I am, which dissolves all the problems and difficulties in this world. I become a place that is able to see the possibilities of greater expression in the midst of confusion and chaos and challenges. There is no place that God is not, but I've got to learn to trust myself. But it's tough to trust yourself if you don't like yourself. Ooh, that's right. You know? I was saying, I'm going to miss you, man. You're going to take your own place. I like that. But, you know, we just get caught up in comparing. There was this little comic in, I think it was the New Yorker magazine, and it was two cave people in a cave, you know, painting their cave paintings. And this one person was painting just this perfect figure, like a Michelangelo human being, just absolutely exquisite. And the other was painting like a 5-year-old, a stick figure. And the first one looks at the stick figure painting and says, man, I wish I could loosen up like you. Yeah. See, when we get into comparison, we're not loving who we are. And there's an interesting story it was during the holidays and it's present time, and there's a brother and a sister and mom, dad, on the floor, and the brother opens up this electronic game and he's all excited, and the little sister starts kind of not yelling or whining, but I want what my brother has. And her mom takes her and kind of brushes her forehead and said, hey, honey, you don't even know what you have yet. And I'm not really sure how that story ends, But what I get is how often that happens. I want what they have got before I even know what it is I have. Before I even know what I am or what I have, I want what this person has, or I want what's going on over there. And I forget about the magnificence of the great I am that is being called into the world for a time such as this. I got to take a breath, calm down, chill out, relax, and recognize that I don't want to react to what's going on, that gauntlet that has been thrown down, but rather I am that conduit or that bridge for the greater yet to be that is seeking to express itself in this moment, that is calling for a greater expression than what is going on in the human condition. And that what I'm involved in is not a race here. I'm involved in a journey. It's not the first one to the end, because once you get to the end, then what? It's a journey. It is about living full out. It is bringing forth your new song, your new creative expression, your new idea. It is about finding relationship to partner with, whether it's in intimacy or whether it's in business or whether it is in friendship or it is in family. There is always opportunities to take those kind of dynamics to a whole new level. But you're the one who's got to recognize that you are here to be used, and a radically new something is seeking to emerge itself, and you are capable of doing that. But what happens sometimes is that we forget that we are the ones that have got to be willing to do that in the face of what is going on in this world, and that love and understanding and kindness are the answer, not only in our life and in the world in which we live. Even if the so-called analytical geniuses are telling me that I'm crazy, you know what? I am not going to give up the concept that love is a transforming factor, the vibrational field in which this planet is moving on, and I will not allow anybody to deny me to express that in this world, no matter what the headlines are saying. I am going to be that place where Spirit touches down in love. And so how come we don't necessarily do that all the time? And I don't believe it's because of our spiritual ignorance, because we're all kind of got a lot of these tools. We know how to work them. It tends to be more of our spiritual laziness. It's that we're just not quite as disciplined as we need to be when those emotional dynamics show up in there. And it's not as if I don't have the tools or I don't know what to do. It's just that, I'm willing to forgive when it's easy. I'm willing to love when it's convenient. I'm willing to have faith when there's some rational sense behind it. And but I sometimes wonder about what's on the flip side. Those advocates of hate. Do you think they're casual about their relationship to hate? That they're only going to practice their terrorism when it's convenient? That they are only going to espouse their position when they're feeling in the mood? It's only when we're willing to be as committed to love as those people that are committed to hate are, that love is going to triumph there. Only when we are committed to love as much as those that are committed to bringing forth their dark perspective to this world will the light of love begin to shine bright in this world. And that darkness and the difficulties and the challenges that plague our headlines in the war-torn countries and the bigger spending on the bombs will begin to dissolve, because all of a sudden a greater light and kindness and something will enter into this world that will make that no longer necessary. We will come into a remembrance of who we are, because we have forgotten as individuals, as a species, as a planetary brotherhood, sisterhood kind of experience. But it begins with you and me standing up with a conviction that is strong enough to speak it even when it is not convenient for the world to hear. You are the bridge. You're the one who has to cross that bridge and bring forth what you have seen from that higher perspective, from that mountaintop view, the greater possibilities that exist in the face of challenges. You are a turnaround genius that has been brought to this world. And I got to tell you, there's nothing that has been given love and attention that will remain the same. It just isn't. And so when the headlines are catching our attention, that is less than love in the world in which we're walking. I encourage us to remember that even beneath what is going on, there's still a gorgeous sunset last night. You see that? And I'm sure it's going to be out there tonight. Just look out your window. It will be spectacular. We've got to remember that even in the challenging times, there's still people falling in love and kissing and smooching, you know? There are people who are actually smiling and actually mean it still. And there's babies being born and healing going on and creativity being expressed and ideas being brought forth, and that we are actually on a really good track. We are in the birthing of a new planetary consciousness where we are in this together, and there is love that is happening, there is growth that is happening, there is grace that is happening. I'm walking on a foundation of faith that knows that this is the truth, and there is nothing out there that will deny me that or take that from me, because I'm on a bridge that is able to see amazing things, and I know all of us, as we cross over that bridge, we're able to bring back into this world the light and the love that you've been called to do for all of us. God bless us as we do this. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Peggy Lebo back to our stage.
Peace that washes over me, and I am drawn to that guiding light that burns through the fog and shines in the night, casting light out on the water for our sons and for our daughters, and for those who've lost their way. Whether calm or stormy seas, love will find a home in me, to be a beacon brightest day. I want to be that lighthouse. I want to be that lighthouse. My heart is open to the ebb and flow that takes me deeper till I know the love that heals and conquers fear lies within me, and it's always been here, casting light out on the water for our sons and for our daughters, and for those who've lost
That is Peggy Lebo, a true beacon of light, a lighthouse for sure. You bless us all with your light. Thank you. Love that. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to share our gift. We get to give our offering. We get to allow ourselves to be that wonderful conduit of Spirit's expression and know that you can't outgive God. What you get to be is that avenue through which that Spirit moves. And so as you give, it comes back. It's not why you give, but that's how that law of circulation works. You just have put yourself into that wonderful stream. You get to be the activity that Spirit is having. So I invite you to listen to your heart and your soul and to give from that place and that overflow. I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this wonderful crew. And thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you can't be here on a Sunday. It's greatly appreciated, as well as those that remember us with that auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world. That regularity of support is very instrumental in assisting us. And those of you at home, we know that you're there. You're reaching out. You're writing to us. And hey, I got some names right now. We're watching. We've got Helen Ojeda and Becky and Michael Horgan and Maria and James Kaplan, who's now in Dallas. You were here last week. And Daniel, who was at the first service, coming back for more. Anyway, that's just some of the ones that are online now. And we just feel the support. We're making a difference together here as well as in the world. That is the light. That is the lighthouse, the beacon that we're becoming more confident and comfortable in the I amness of Seaside in its expression in life, and it's touching more and more who are able to hear and feel our unique expression. So with that, I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, absolutely knowing that the blessings and the grace of God unfold in this moment, ever uplifting, enriching, and gracing. For truly the wonder of Spirit is one, a flow, and we are in that flow and feeling that life force. I am just able to say thank you in the realization, the recognition of the source of all good that brings the peace and brings the security in the face of any roadblocks that are in life. I know right now there is an abundant, affluent flow that will raise whatever the tide is to move through any of the constrictions in life as I choose to see in a God kind of way. So living with this, I say thank you for the gifts that have blessed my life and the ability to share that. As we give, there is a richness that comes from this overflow of sharing and knowing that it moves forth and blesses all that comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to be part of that wonderful motion of life. And so it is. Amen. And together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Those are your guys from Seaside. Great job. And so I stand before this abundance and I can feel the love, I can feel the outpouring, I can feel the grace, I can feel the good, I can feel it coming from a very blessed place, and I know that it is given with a sense of joy, it is received with joy, it is handled in good stewardship, and it's put forth back into this stream of life, bringing good and joy and blessings and grace to all those it comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this moment, for using each and every one of us to bring forth this greater vision of the possible. And so it is. Amen. This is Josh Franklin. He is your board vice president here at Seaside, keeping a good eye on us. Thank you for all your support and all your good. So, Peggy, always a joy. Loved your songs. My goodness, that's heart-provoking. Beautiful. Rebecca, always a joy to share Sunday mornings with you. You are a star. We love you so much. Go bless Europe, but make sure you come back. We're saving this seat for you. So we'll miss you. Have fun with Dave. Cause. How many more weeks? How many more tests? 4 and 4. Those are like solid foundational stuff. And then you're done. And we'll be saying Reverend Rosedale. Hey, congratulations. Very excited. Thanks for your help this morning. Your excitement, your joy. Soon to be the Reverend. Giving us sound today is Ed. Giving us visuals today is Marv. And just thank you, guys. You know there's CDs after the service available. And to the Crawford crew, all you guys behind cameras and in the room, we know you're there and you're making a difference in the world. I just read some of the names that were given to me. So just thank you. And know that there's a lot that's going on at Seaside. Like today is when I'm done, we have got the basic beliefs gathering the group with Ginny Mills, a wonderful practitioner at Seaside. And so she'll be in one of the back rooms in the corner behind the kitchen there. Also, I heard Kat's getting together to help launch our market, our teen group. So they're looking for individuals who want to play there. And then there is a group getting together to help put on the Marianne Williamson thing going on also after the service. So there's a lot going on after the service today because there's always a lot happening at Seaside. The ability to play with friends, people of like mind, is a lot of what Seaside is about, for sure. Oh, and there's choir practice. There's 4. We're on this 4th theme going on. And the choir's getting together to sing for the graduation, right? And so we got Sasha, wonderful, trained musical artist that's leading our choir. That's good. Monday night, we got Deep. I keep talking about things that are happening, but I'll tell you what's really going on that's happening we got classes. I won't go there. But read about things. But what's being launched today, really it's next week, but I'm to show you an idea, is Gourmets for Gods. And Gourmets for Gods is an opportunity for us to just play together this summertime. And we've got Susan Sully, who is really the hostess this year with the mostess, who is the one who's standing behind the table. And Gourmets for God is an opportunity for us to have meals with members of our family. So if you're interested in hosting a meal, we'd love for you to sign up with Susan and say, you know what, I'm opening my house. So we got a video. Do we have sound with the video this time? We're good. You know what? Forget it, Marv. It's not working. We don't need 2 no's. We're going to play that whole popcorn thing. And I was going to chef it up, but I'll do it without music because I can. They gave me a half a napkin. What does one do with a half a napkin? You know, it's like, do you like this or something? I think I should be able to tie a knot. Anything else you want me to wear? Yes, I want you to. Okay, we're going to be doing this more than I think we should be. Okay. Oh, wait, I lost my napkin. And now this. What's it? Oh. No, you're not serious. Seriously? I didn't have to do it at the first service. What do you think? All right, here we go. Cinco de Mayo, what would be perfect is salsa. Oh, man, what a shame. Anyway, salsa, Cinco de Mayo. First service, I understand they went through it all, but they needed a little spicier. So Cassie, my wonderful shoe chef, prepped a lot more jalapenos and the seeds this time, right? There you go. And she chopped the onions for us, big ones. And then we got, let's put this in the middle this time. Cilantros, how much? This much? You like cilantros? A lot of cilantros? Okay. and tomatoes, more tomatoes this round. And let's see, with some vinegar here. Why do they have these tops you can't pour? You think that's about right? Okay, you guys know. And a little bit of olive oil, just because I got some Italian in me, I guess. And garlic, because that makes everything all right. Just don't tell my friends across the border that I added garlic to the salsa. And you ever have this 21 spice from Trader Joe's? My secret. And this one, this is where I blew the first service, they say, is the salt. They say you got to do dash, whoops, dash. Yes, enough, stop, chips, you know. Okay, here we go, let's see. They're working. Practitioners can use some prayer here. Gotta get this working here. It's working, it's working. Just like you see on the TV shows. Okay. Voila! Woo! Chef Sorensen! Anybody want to try? Oh, man. Let's see. Wait. Somebody help. I need a smile. What do you think? Can you help? Cat.
Oh, you want me to try it?
You want to try it? Ah, there we go. Nothing like having a plant, you know? Thank you. This says Susan, she will have those chips and salsa at the Gourmets for God table. And here's a hint, what we're doing differently this year is we're only going to have 2 on a particular night. So if you're thinking of signing up, sooner you do it, you get to pick your night, because what has happened is people want to go to a lot of them, but they can't because they're all on the same night. So I don't know if I'm going to wear this next time, but anyway, here we go. Okay, get centered. I just couldn't pray with a lot of dignity wearing that stuff. Though I was praying pretty good over that blender, wasn't I? You know what, guys? What do you think? Anybody any comments? How's the salsa?
So, at first it was pretty...
Oh, it got turned on. Okay, at first? It's on. It's just on.
At first it was pretty good, but then it got like... Then it felt like it was... Like... So then it like went away.
Oh, fire! Oh, my.
Like,
Yep, that's the jalapenos. You should be like a food critic. That's a fun thing. They pay you to eat. So, anybody else want to talk to me? How'd it go up there? You want to say anything? No. Coop, what's up?
We made coupon books today and talked
Named
about
it after you, huh?
No.
No, coupons?
Oh.
Hey, what are you doing after service today with Kat and Cassie?
We are going to talk about what we are going to do with the teens and try to invite more teens into Seaside.
Good. All right, we support you. We see that room overflowing. Anybody else? Okay. Anyway, now I'm going to pray. Coming back to this world, this place, this moment in time and space, recognize that truly I am that bridge of the infinite, a conduit, a channel through which the divine moves. So I stand here in this divine recognition of that life force and invite any of our religious science practitioners that are present to stand in this moment and all of us to feel this upliftment of this divine frequency, this vibration of joy and happiness and good. For the grace of God moves in this moment right now, and just feel a sense of gratitude for having been touched by the divine in a way that blesses your world. For what I know right now is those blessings personalize its touch, and so I come to recognize the fullness of that life that breathed me into expression, that power and the good of God that is moving in this moment in ways that are transformative. For I know right now that I am one with this. that I am one with Spirit here in this moment. And God moves. And I am that bridge in which that awareness expands of the greater yet to be. And so I stand in this realization of the truth of being, which is Spirit expressing with each and every one, knowing that God is touching us in this moment. And it personalizes its touch, so if there's any area in life that there is constriction or restriction or challenge or difficulty or lack of ease, it's the human condition. It's the rain on the outdoor concert. It's a roadblock. But it's not the spiritual truth. It's a condition in this world. The glove, the gauntlet has been thrown. To call forth that greater aspect of being, there is no challenge in this world that can remain. For in that presence of God, there is no otherness. There is no power over the constriction, the challenge, or the difficulty. There is only Spirit. I am the way, and in this there is a freedom, but a freedom conjures up a sense of bondage. There is no bondage. There is only a sense of self-expression in life. There is nothing to be free from. We become that expression of that light, and as that spiritual light moves, we become that lighthouse of the divine, and in that space, anything unlike it dissolves into the nothingness for which it came, because we remember. And it's in the remembering that any sense of separation dissolves into nothing. And what remains is a beautiful conduit through which that Spirit moves, and healing happens in the body. The body begins to be a place of greater expression. The systems within the physical structure begin to return to their sense of wholeness. The innate blueprint of that wholeness is remembered in this realization. And the body works in perfect balance with the expression and the secretion and the rhythm and everything it is supposed to be doing. It knows how to do, and it does in this moment, because the divine touch has recalibrated the physical temple. And the body is healed, it is whole, it is perfect, and it is a perfect expression to walk through this world that continues to be a place and that is the great attractor for greater good and all that is necessary to support that good, that life, that fulfillment, that success, is that abundant flow, that affluent flow, that wealth of God that has already been given before we even have need. For there is no challenge that Spirit cannot move through, and you are Spirit expressing in this moment. So be courageous enough to look at any of those challenges or those difficulties or those roadblocks and know that it is something there to move through, beyond, over, under, around, that it is not a stop sign. That you have been empowered to know the expression of God is one of love, and love heals. It heals all things. Kindness, understanding, and love. Truly a trifecta of the divine has its way in the world, and we become that mouthpiece and that expression of that. It is felt in our presence, for truly the presence of God is felt. And in this felt sense of the divine, I know healing happens, as it has for every prayer request brought forth into our prayer request chest. The practitioners who speak after the service, their prayers of the great I am, our Spirit expressing in that moment. And for our beloved brother Don and Barbara Ketalifa, for Don, who's made his transition this week, that he moves on with those currents of eternality, having made that conscious choice to live fully expressed, and knowing that he's left behind that body that was no longer there to support the vibrancy of his dynamic expression. And that vibrancy of the dynamic expression that he is, continues to be forevermore. And I know right now the wake of memories and blessings and love continue to surround Barbara and the kids and all the family. For truly, Barbara is surrounded by the love of her spiritual community at this time, finding the strength and a peace that passes any kind of understanding. For truly, the blessings and the grace find its expression in her life. And so knowing right now that Seaside is here for one another, that it is a place of love and caring and compassion, that Seaside continues to grow because the members of this community grow and move to a greater conscious connection with Source, that Seaside continues to thrive and prosper and share that light and that love because it listens to the vision that has been given to us to serve. So feeling gratitude for having the ability to serve, finding ourselves in the perfect relationship with God expressing, I say thank you. Thank you for using me as Seaside, as a bridge. Thank you for the words I've shared, that they're the truth manifesting here and now. And I just let go to this light with an unshakable conviction and a deep faith and a lot of gratitude for the good that is happening now. I let go, and I love, and allow Spirit to have its way. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was but now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. Come on, Seaside. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, sing it from your heart. Yeah, come on. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
And our affirmation is, I step into my greater courageous expression. Together, I step into my greater courageous expression. Touch your heart and say it again. I step into my greater courageous expression. One more time, like it's your truth. I step into my greater courageous expression. And our song of grace that Peggy and I wrote.